folks. In this video, I'm going to teach you on how to create a class record using Microsoft Excel in your own class. So, say for instance, you're given by your principal or your school head to do an arrangement, okay, or a universal, okay, class record all across the school, and then he gave you or he or she gave you this percentages. Say we will use this space here. Let's try to insert um, where is that? Some text box that he told you that so we have three components, right? The components, we have three components. These are the written works, which will be 30% of your grade. We have the performance task, which is 40% of your grades, and we have the quarterly assessment, aka your exam, which is 30% of your grades, which gives you a sum of 100%. Okay. He furthermore told you, he or she told you that the cutoff score is 50%. That is, in order for one student to pass a particular test or a particular quiz, or even the exams or or the performance task, he or she must have the score of 50, at least 50%, in order to get an equivalent of 75% in the grades. So we're going to follow this, and then by default, the passing grade is equal to 75%, the lowest be 65%, and the highest grade be, of course, 100%. And that will be the um the parts or the highlights that your school had told you. So you're going to follow this, okay? And we're going to create a class record which follows these components right here. So first up, the first I will allow, or I will give the first, say, first five rows to be all about your school. The name of the section. Maybe you have the logo there for school. So all 1 to 5 will be all about the school prerequisites. So one, some of the prerequisites are like the name of the subject. Put it here, subject. Say we'll have this as um what, general mathematics in grade 11. Okay, and this is the name of your school, something something high school or senior high school. I just made it up. And subject, you can put the section here. Say you call it STEM 11, section A, and then such. I mean, all the first three rows will be up to you to create those. The next rows will be all about the class record itself. So first, let's give a space, and then here we're going to put the number students. So just to give us a so that we won't get lost. We will put the name of the student here. Preferably we'll put the last name and then the first name here. If you want, you can put the middle initial here, and then we'll put the section, even though they're the same section. But hey, let's just put it there. Seldom you want to put the student number if you have one, and then that's all for the um for the profiling of your students. So we'll just fix this up. Oh, sorry. Okay, last name, first name, middle initial. This should be just this one. Section student number. So I don't have any names here of your students, so I'm just going to name them from 1 to 20. Okay, so I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I can just drag them all down, following the pattern up until imagine my class will be 20 students. So 20 students will be enough, and that will be it. um so maybe I can just put it here. I'll just move it down one row below. You can see it will have some important or two rows below, some important features later. Okay, so next up is I'm going to put the rows or the columns for the written works. So this will tell me that this will be written works. You may have your own design, but I will start here. I will call this quiz 1. This will be quiz 2, quiz 3. Yeah, and quiz 3. I'll end with quiz 3. This will be the total score, and this will be the percentage of the values of the total score from your the quizzes. Next is I'm going to have the performance task here. I'll call it PT1. Say it's an enabling PT. We'll have PT2 as the second scaffold or the second enabling PT, and I'll have the final PT as PT3. And this will be the culminating PT. So culminating PT. So I'll have the total score of the PTs and I have the percentage. All the others are up to you. If you have some peer evaluation of the PT, notice that it's most of them are group tasks. So it's really up to you to put just some column there. And we'll have, of course, the quarterly assessment, aka your exam. I'll just put exam here. And then since there's only one exam, you can just go directly to percentages. And then after that, let me move this text box. I'll just put it here. After that, of course, you need to sum up, get the percentage of all the grades. This will be your grade now, your quarterly grade. Okay, and then that's it. Those are the basic. Okay, these are the most basic columns that we need whenever we're going to have our class record. So we'll just name this so that for identifications purposes, this is all the written works. Written works. Here these columns represent the performance task, and these columns here, the two of them, well, yeah, represent the quarterly assessment. Okay, so let's get into it. Um, Here, in this row here, we'll put all the total scores. Okay, so it depends on you how you design this, but for me, I'm going to name this as the total rate, rather the dates where you took when you took the quiz. That's quite important when you have your grades verification. So I suggest you put the date there, and then you will put the total scores or the perfect scores rather, the perfect score per quiz. So for instance, you took the quiz 1 when you took it today's May 15, 21. Quiz 2 is May 20, 21, just making updates. And then quiz 3 will be May 30, 21. Okay. Now perfect score, say for instance for quiz 1 will be 10, for quiz 2 will be 20, for quiz 3 will be 30. And of course, to get the total for the perfect score, what you need to do is to get just the sum of your all your perfect scores, and then pretty much that's 60. Okay, and that's it. We're going to make up some score quizzes and the scores in this column. You if you want, you can copy their section. Anyways, they have their section here. Yeah, okay, there. And then this is a student number column. And well, if you don't like this setup, you can just change this whenever you want. Maybe I'll do it like this. Okay, and then this is the student number, and then so on. The important thing in this video is about these parts here. Well, the others you can just change it whenever you need to. So I'm going to generate a random number here. So to highlight, I will bold this words here so that we won't get lost, and I'll make it a little bit bigger. And likewise, I'll make it also here bold and then bigger, and also here. Okay, now what I want to do then is I'm going to create some random number from 1 to 10 for this first column for all the students. Since I don't know their rand between, you can use this function to generate a random number between intervals. So I'm going to say that they can have a score of 0 up until 10, and then click enter. And I'm just going to drag that down all the way up until the 20th student. And then those are all their scores. And I'm going to do that also for 20, um, equals rand between, say they made it up. So the lowest score is 10 up until 20. So there is no score below that. So we'll have this. Anyways, when you have the random number and you enter every time, it will change every time. So for instance, I'm going to do this. So it changes every time. So what you need to do is just to copy this and then paste it again. And then take note to paste it as not formulas, but paste them as values so that they will be intact values now, not formulas like this. Okay, you can see it here. Also, if you want to copy this and then make it intact, copy it there. Make it values, and then it will become intact, not anymore formulas. So we're going to follow that also here. So rand between, um so it's 30. There, let's put the lowest score will be, say, 20 up until 30. And I'm going to drag that down. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this so that it will be intact, and I'm going to paste it as values there, so it will not change anytime. And then the next step will be I'm going to sum all their scores here in the written works. It will be equals sum of all their scores, individual scores here, close parenthesis, hit enter, and I'm going to drag it all the way down so that it'll get all the sums of everybody's score individually. So also, let's do this in the PT. Let's do the percentages later. It will serve as a special place in our hearts later. So let's say the PT1 is a scaffold. So you made it around quiz 2. So I'll put that this was submitted on 5 May 20. This PT2 will be submitted on 25th, for instance. I'm just making this up. 5/30/21. Okay. And let's say this is worth 10 points, this is worth 10 points, this is worth 50 points, since it's the performance task. And I will also say that the exam is worth 50 points all in all. I'm going to get the total here of the performance task, close parenthesis, that's a sum, 70. And I'm going to generate more random numbers here, so this will be, all of them will be from 1 to 10. So random number. In reality, of course, performance tasks are group tasks usually, if not all. Usually, it's group tasks, so they should have the same scores, one way or another for some. But I'm just going to do this randomly so that it will be fast. So in reality, okay, they have similar scores. Okay, here for instance. So I'm going to copy this and paste it as values, and that's it. So not change anymore. Here for the 50, I'll just put some random numbers again. Rand between. It's up to 50. Let's say their lowest score is 35, and then the highest score is 50. So that'll be it. I'm going to drag this all the way down. Again, if you have I'm going to follow the same thing again. If you have the peer evaluation, maybe I could create another video for that. Just simple, you just need to make it as a multiplier for your final performance task, and then that will be the score that you need to um add to have the percentages. So get the value, and then we're going to sum this up, sum them all up here, close parentheses, and then I'm going to them down. So these are the sums of their scores for the performance task. And for the exam, it's 1 to 50. I'm going to create a run between, say, what's the lowest score it could be? Say 10, meaning he didn't really study, he or she. Let's drag them down. Okay, and then going to copy this and then paste as a value. Okay, there. So that's it for our scores. We have inputted the scores with a total number of them. If you want, we can just put them in in a thick box here so that we won't get lost. So we have the written works, the performance tasks, and the quarterly grades all up here. If you want, we can put some lines in between only in there's none. Anyways, it's okay if there's none, okay? So there you go. Um, what we need to do then is to get the percentage. Going back in this paper that your principal gave you, it says that that the written work should be 30% of your grade. So in order for you to not get lost, let's just put here 30%. It was stated that the performance task is 40%. You can see it there, over here. And the quarterly assessment is 30%, giving you 100% for your grade. And then your grade is 30, 40, 30. That's your 30% written works, 40% performance task, 30% quarterly assessment. And the cutoff score is 50%. Okay? So the cutoff is 50%. And we know the passing grade is 75, the lowest grade is 65, the highest grade is 100, and we want to use all of those information in order for us to determine the formula for the percentages here. Okay, so be with me in this part. I will be discussing how to do the formulas themselves. So we're going to put an equals and we're going to make use of the function if. Remember the function, the if function, it's a logical test. First, you need to put the logical statement here, and then you put if this statement is true, what will happen, and then comma, what if the statement is false. So you can create a whole bunch of logical tests here, logical statements, and then you can have it if the statement is true, if the statement is false. So what we're going to test is actually, okay, their score, the student's individual score. I'm going to type it, click it, this one, this J10, cell J10, and I'm going to say, since our um passing grade is 75% and our cutoff score is 50%, we need to have it as, if this score is greater than or equal to 50%, 0.5 of the total. That will be the important step. And we want the total to be, um, sorry, what did I do? We want the total to be intact. So we want to put some dollar sign there before and after the letter so that the columns will be intact, the rows will be intact. Okay? And then we're going to follow this up. What will be the next? Now, we want to know if this is our logical test. If your the score of that individual student is greater than or equal to 50% of the total score. That is because your cutoff score is 50%. Now, we say that if it is equal to 50%, it should be 75% for the percentages because it's the passing grade, and the cutoff score is 50, meaning if he or she got 50% in any of the tests, he or she will take 75% as an equivalent for the grades because that's our passing grade, and 50% is cut off. And we're going to put now if this value is true. If it is true that it is equal to 50%, which is equal to the cutoff score, or greater than the cutoff score, meaning he will have grades which is greater than or equal to 75. Okay, so how do we do that? We just first put the total score, put that again, if this is true. We're going to minus that to we get that difference from this individual student score, okay, and the perfect score, the 50% of the perfect score. And again, we want to put some dollar sign there in order for it to be intact. Okay, and then we're going to multiply this whole bunch of uh what do you call it? We need to put some parentheses here. This whole bunch of of term to 25 divided by the 50% of your perfect score, which is your J9. We want to put some dollar sign there. It's anyways, it is, we use 25 because it's just 25 points away from 100. So we're going to make use of that. Close parentheses, and then we're going to add some 75 there. Okay, so that will be our formula if the value is true. Okay, if the value is true. Um, so again, we get a difference from the student's individual student score from the 50% of the perfect score, multiply that by 25 all over the 50% of the total score, and then we'll add 75 in order for us to get the the percentage if it is true that it's the score is more than 70, more than 50%, which is the cutoff score. If it is not more than or equal to 50%, which is the cutoff score, we're going to need to have a grade between 75 to 65. So we need to have another formula for that because 65 to 75 is different from 75 to 100. So what will be our formula there? Get the total score again. We multiply that, open parenthesis, by 10 divided by 50% of the total score, which is J9, and we want to put the dollar sign there. Why do we get 10? Because there's a 10 difference only from 65 to 75. So the difference is 10. So that's why it's 10 there in the numerator. And then we're going to add 65 here since 65 is our lowest score, meaning we cannot give a score which is lower than 65. Instead, 65 will be the lowest. So again, for the false, get the score, multiply that by 10 divided by the 50% of the total, and then add 65, and then that's our um that's our answer for the percentages. We'll click enter, and then in a while, there's a typo. Oops, yeah, there's a typo. Indeed. Oh, I think this one. Nope. Okay, let's see. Let's find a typo here. J1 greater than or equal to 50% of this one. Oh, I think this one is kinda misleading. Instead of using 50%, maybe we'll use divided by 2 so that we won't get lost. Divided by 2. Divided by 2. And then divided by 2. We need to put some parentheses here. Also here so that we won't get lost in the fractions. Let's try. There. So that's his score now. Okay, so sorry, instead of making use of 0.5, we use divided by 2. And then, of course, with that in the fractions, we need to input some colons or some parentheses in order for us not to get lost. So what we're going to do here is we're going to drag this all the way to the last student. And you can see a variety of scores there, or grades rather. If you want to lessen the decimals, you can always click this one. This is decreased decimal. This is decreased decimal. So we want to decrease it to only 2 decimal places. So there you go. You can see that the lowest is 77.5. He got 1 in the 10, 1 to 10. He got 20 in 1 to 20. He got 22 in the 30. So that's the lowest. We're also going to follow this in the percentages in the performance task. So what we need to do is, since we're making use of the same cutoff score, same passing grade, same lowest grade, same highest grade, we're going to copy this and then put it here. Of course, we need to tweak the formula since our J9 is locked into the written works. We just need to transfer all these formulas here. We need to transfer this to this one. Furthermore, want to transfer it there. Furthermore, we want to transfer it there. and also there. So notice all the J9s become O10s, or rather O9s, O9s. Sorry, O9s. Okay, that's funny. And then we're going to hit enter, and then we're going to drag them all down all the way. So those are the grades equivalent for the percentages in your performance task. Okay. If you want, we can check these percentages if you have some trust issues. If I'm going to extend it down below here, for instance. And now you can see that if there's no score, if it's 0, it's going to be 65. If their score is 100, it's going to be no, not 100, 60. 60 is the perfect score. 60 if it's going to become 100. Okay. Now we can test this by making use of several numbers. So notice the lowest, the perfect score is 60, right? If I'm going to have 0, it's going to be 65. If I'm going to give you 30, which is 50, it should be 75. If it's 60, it is 100%. If it's between 0 to 30, if it's 15, it's going to give you something like 70. If it's between 30 to 60, which is 45, it's going to give you 87. So notice that the number changes. If your score is 5, if it's 10, if it's 15, you know, if it's 20, if it's 25, if it's 30, so it's 75. So you can see how things changes. If it's more than 30, if it's 40, there you go. If it's 45, if it's 50, and so on. So you can see that if you're going to test all these scores here, you can see that it goes on from 65 to 100. So making use of this formula is pretty much correct um, in your class records without even a template given to you. You can create your own template with this video. Hopefully, I helped something with the formulas and the percentages in your school. So that's it. We have just proved that this is correct. The formula is correct. I want to delete that, and I want to delete this also. This one here. Okay, there. So there's a mess. Okay. Next is the percentage for the exam. It's pretty much the same thing. Just copy this and then put it here, and all the percentages in the performance tests. Let's transfer it in a total score in the exam, and okay. And then we're going to drag all of these going down, and then there you go. Most of them got low, but one is perfect here in the exam. So this student 16 is pretty much a genius for all we know. Um, and then of course that's it. That's for the percentages. Let me highlight these parts. So we have these percentages here. Let's make it yellow here. Let's make it sorry, make it green here. And here let's make it something like what do you blue, light blue. Okay, let's do it. Not really. This one. Okay. Now, what is left for us to do is for us to, of course, you need to just fix this stuff here. For us to get the quarterly grade, the quarter grade of each student. Remember, written works is 30%, performance task is 40%, quarterly assessment is 30%. So how do we do this? So if you want, you can just put here some code of yours 30, 40, 30, so that we won't get lost. We're going to create our own formula. That is, this percentage will be multiplied by 0.3 since it's 30%. Plus this percentage for the written works or for the performance task will be multiplied by 0.4 since that's your performance task. Plus your exam will be this one. You multiply that by 0.3. So we have 30% written works, 40% performance task, 30% quarterly assessment, and click enter. And there you go. That is your grade for your student for this quarter. And then you just need to drag them all down for all your students' grades. All right. Let's just fix this. Let's make it 2 decimal places for us to look at it a little bit cleaner. Okay, there you go. So these are the grades of your students in this quarter. Okay, if you want, we can have some coloring here. You may want to put that in conditional formatting. You may want to highlight cells which are greater than, let's say. You want to highlight things with green, fill dark green text. If your where's that? You're going to write all of these. Okay. If your cell value is greater than, oops, sorry. If your cell value is greater than say 90, 90. And we're going to click OK with this. I'm going to drag them all down to follow the format. So you can see that um, those which have a grade of 90 are highlighted. That's under conditional formatting. We're going to follow up again. Say we're going to values less than, and we want to highlight values less than, say 85. We're going to make use of red one there, or you just make use of yellow. Since there's no one is failure anyways, all of them are with passing grades. Let's click OK with that, and then we're going to drag it all the way up, and then you can see the yellow um the yellow grades which are less than 85, which but no one is failed, right? No one failed. If you want something to be make sure that if no one is really failed, put conditional formatting less than. If you want to put it less than strictly 75, you make it with dark red and then click OK. Well, no one is dark red here, so therefore no one is failure. And yeah, pretty much that's it. That's how you create your own class record, making use of Microsoft Excel. And all the other things, the designs will be up really up to you. These are just the basics. My intention here is to teach you how to create this percentage columns here, this one here and here. Provided your principal gave you something like this: cutoff score, passing grade, lowest grade, the highest grade, and the components. If you're a private school, you can just kindly you can tweak with these components. Okay. Since you have some autonomy in the autonomy clause. And that's it. If I will fix this more, I can put it something like that so that we won't get lost that these are the scores here. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope I helped in for you on how to create your own class record if your school had assigned you to do that. So thank you very much. Hope you would kindly leave a like and kindly also subscribe. Thank you very much.